Are your work boots looking old and tired and you're just not sure what to do? Have you said things like, "It'll take too much time, I don't want to ruin my boots," or "I just don't even know where to start"? Well, let me convince you it's easier and quicker than you think. With my step-by-step process, I'll share with you how to confidently turn your boots from worn to wow in under 10 minutes. Hey guys, my name's Evan and it's my goal to share the skills and tools needed to love your leather. These epic but scuffed and worn pair of Chippewa logger boots are about to receive what I call the 3 C's treatment. And if you follow along, you can transform your boots just like mine. Let's get to it. First off, let's prep our shoes by removing the laces and dry brushing any debris from off of our leather. Look, I get it. Most people pass this step because it takes so much time to lace and unlace, but trust me when I say that this area hides the most dirt, dust, and debris. Though if your boots aren't too dirty, you can just work around the laces instead of taking them off. The best brush to use is a horsehair bristle brush because it easily removes any debris as well as evenly and thoroughly spreads any waxes or oils for your leather. Moving forward, let's get to cleaning. We'll wash our laces, scrub up our leather, and further remove any caked on dust, dirt, or debris with some suds. We'll need a basin of water and some cleaner. When it comes to the laces, you can use any ordinary dish soap, but I'll be using some shoe cleaner. We'll let our laces soak while we clean the rest of the boot. Now when it comes to the leather, you don't want to use just any old soap or cleaner, especially ones that aren't specially formulated for leather. If you do, you can really damage and strip the leather of its natural oils. So make sure to invest in a good cleaner. I'll leave my top suggestions in some links below. You may be a little apprehensive seeing as I'm gently scraping off these paint flecks, but it honestly looks worse than it is. As you'll see, all I need to do is wipe the area to reset those scuffs. Now, you never want to deeply saturate your leather with water or cleaner because it will damage it over time, especially if you do it on a regular basis. So only clean one panel of the leather at a time and then immediately wipe off the excess. Another reason to never soak your leather is that it takes longer for leather to dry. And on top of that, if you leave your leather wet, let's not forget that it's an organic material, it will begin to grow mold, decompose, and stink. So for those reasons, never soak your leather. And already you guys can see that those surface scuffs are just disappearing. I wanted to take a moment to talk about this special type of leather. It's called pull-up leather, crazy horse, or oiled leather because it's saturated with oils and gives it a beautiful patina. Though after some time it can look pretty beat up, so we can easily reset the surface of our leather simply by wiping it down with a damp cloth or scrubbing the leather like we're doing now. Step number 2, let's condition our leather. We'll fix any loose threads, deeply hydrate our leather, protect it, and then brush it. My favorite scissors for jobs like this are sewing scissors because they're small and snip so close to the seam. I'll leave a link in the description. So if you have any loose threads like these, you can easily snip them off and then flame seal them so that they won't come undone. You don't have to be afraid of ruining your leather as long as you don't keep that flame there for too long. Next, one of our most important steps for any leather is to condition it. Many people don't realize that leather needs to be hydrated, and that's why when it doesn't get the oils it needs to bend and flex, it'll crack and tear due to dryness. Check out these thirsty vintage Doc Martens that probably never had a conditioning in its life. Looks like a dry lake bed to me. Whatever you do, don't do this. So of course there's all kinds of different leather conditioners out there, from creams to balms that nourish and even waterproof your leather. Some conditioners darken your leather while others don't. It really just depends on your situation, but I'll make sure to leave my recommendations in the links below. Also, if you guys are looking for a thorough video comparison of different leather conditioners or any relevant video for that matter, drop a comment below and I'll make sure to make one for you guys. And as you guys can see, the leather cream I'm using is slightly darkening the leather, which is exactly what we want. Do note though that if your shoes are desperately dry, they're innately going to be lighter in color, and that any type of hydration that you use on it is going to make it slightly darker, even if it's a non-darkening cream. But so far, I think that these boots are turning out beautifully. Let me know what you guys think. Now, a controversial hack that I use is applying controlled warmth to your leather after you've hydrated it with a wax or oil conditioner. You can carefully use a hairdryer, but I'm going to use a mini heat gun. Why is this important? Well, Waxes and oils often sit at the top layer of the leather and may never fully penetrate to the bottom, but when you heat it up, like warming up butter, it begins to gently melt and move further into the leather fibers. You can then massage it in further and remove any surface scuffs. I say it's controversial because a lot of people ruin their leather if you apply high temperatures to leather for an extended period of time. You can warp or even shrink your leather. But if you apply controlled warm temperatures, you won't have a problem. Now another huge tip that I love sharing is actually hydrating your rubber midsole. Don't forget that rubber bends and flexes as well. On top of that, it gives a nice, clean look. Have you guys ever tried that? Let me know below. Now that our laces have soaked, let's squeeze out the excess and then run it through a cloth to remove any lasting moisture. We are almost finished, and our last step is to conserve our leather. And we do so by brushing our leather often. Best would be after each use so that any dust or debris won't dry out your leather, but remember that the more often you quickly care for your leather, the less often you have to deeply care for it. As Einstein once said, intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. Secondly, in order to prevent creasing and cracking, we need to invest in some quality shoe trees. This will fill out your leather so your boots won't sag down and crease. If you can't afford cedar shoe trees, paper or plastic bags can do a decent job. The goal at the end of the day is to prolong your leather by stewarding it well so you don't waste your hard-earned money to buy new ones. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button as well as subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more leather care tutorials for things like Doc Marten boots, Nike sneakers, Allen Edmond dress shoes, or Birkenstock sandals. Remember to check out any of the products linked below, and I'll see you guys next time. But until then, remember to love your leather.